When it comes to doing some burn down, especially in front of corn, there are only a few products out there that are fantastic.
Okay, but here's the whole thing. Like on our farm, for example, a lot of times when we're planting corn, the frost is still in the ground, and I'm not joking. Okay, we're
not this year.
No,
not this year.
But that's the whole thing, and that's the reason why we're talking about this today, because it's a little unusual in all of our fields when we're out planting corn right now, especially in these strip-till, no-till fields. We've got all kinds of weeds that are coming. So we need to get good products out there to get a great burn down, because if you don't stop them now, it's going to be a lot more difficult post-emerge.
Well, here's what I like. You know, there's a lot of different pre's that you may use, and you say, wow, you know, I love Surpass or Harness or Dual or Outlook. They've been great products for me. Those products have zero burn down capabilities.
Right.
So you may say, well, they've always worked great. Well, yes, if it was cooler in the spring, there weren't weeds up. Yep. Now the weeds are up. You're going to have a disaster if you don't switch. Now, if you like those products...
Well, wait, you don't have to switch. You just might have to add something to it. Like on our farm, we'll use some Harness or Surpass, but you know what else we're going to throw in there? We're going to throw in some Roundup. We're also going to throw in some Burndown.
Okay, well, those are options. The other thing that you may do is you say, well, hey, I've been using Outlook. I really like Outlook. Well, let's try some Verdict. Now you've got Outlook plus some Sharpen. That Sharpen's going to have great burn down on broadleaf weeds. And I know as soon as I start talking about Sharpen, I'll probably get an email from someone that'll say, well, I had 2-foot tall mare's tail in front of my soybeans, and wow, I used Sharpen and it didn't work on them. Well, number one, you waited too long, but number two, you can only use an ounce in front of soybeans, but in front of corn, you can use a much higher rate. And a product like Verdict, you're going to get the Sharpen plus some Outlook for additional residual.
Okay, so that reminds me, if you're going to use, let's say, Burndown like I suggested, or you're going to use Sharpen or Verdict like Darren suggested, and you use them at high enough rates, you can't rotate back to soybeans real soon. So in other words, if something goes wrong with your corn and you decide, oh, I got a replant out there and I'm going to fill in with some soybeans, make sure you know what you're doing with that stuff. So there are some of these products like Harness, Surpass, Outlook Dual. In a month, we can easily go back and plant soybeans, not a big problem. Burndown and Verdict, you probably can't, depending on the rate.
Well, the other thing, Brian, is right where we're at, we're fortunate we're in a state where Balance Flex is labeled. I love Balance Flex because now, if I don't get my burn down on, like with the Sharpen, once that corn is starting to crack the ground, you can't spray it anymore.
Sharpen or Verdict.
It could potentially ding that corn. So hopefully you find some of the recommendations today helpful, especially if you have tough weeds like our Weed of the Week.
Hey, though, Darren, before you get to that, I just wanted to mention one last thing. Adjuvants make a difference what you're doing here, so you might need some methylated seed oil, some crop oil. Just talk to your agronomist on that. And also talk to your agronomist about our Weed of the Week. Maybe he can help you identify this one. It's coming up next.